Hello Exile, Altec2k here. In this one we're going to talk about block. So what is it? Well, it's a defensive layer in Path of Exile that has a chance to intercept a hit and cause you to take no damage, and also prevent harmful elements and effects from it. A blocked hit still classes as being hit, so when you are hit effects still work. In general, blocking will prevent negative on hit effects from attackers, except those from skills that rely on successful hits, like the poison from Viper Strike. Block comes in two flavours, attack and spell block, with each having a block chance cap of 75%. If you reach cap on both, you will take on average only a quarter of the incoming damage. Unlike evasion though, this is not based on an entropy system, and so every block chance roll is assessed separately and randomly. So you could get an unlucky streak of hits that are not blocked. For this reason, it's better to go high with block instead of doing multiple layers of defences with low chance. So how do we get block chance? A large chunk of it can come from our weapon or shield, with shields and staffs granting block implicitly, and dual wielding granting a flat 15% attack block chance. As one would expect, shields offer the most block chance in general, with some of them getting over 30% attack block in some cases. The block chance gained in this way is normally always attack block, but some uniques flip this on its head, like Duresso's Courage. For archers there is also a unique quiver, Rear Guard, which gives a chance to block both attack and spell damage. The rest will need to come from passive tree passives, sentences and uniques. Tempest Shield also offers a small amount of spell block chance. Type in block on your passive tree search to highlight the nearest nodes. Most notable sentences for block are Gladiator with 3 ascendancy points assigned to block, one of which increases attack block to 85%, Necromancer because of Mistress of Sacrifice and Bone Offering, and Bastion of Hope from Guardian. And like most of the mechanics in Path of Exile, block can be modified via the use of keystones, of which there are 2. The first is Glancing Blows. This doubles your attack and spell damage chance and causes you to take 65% of blocked damage. This means to reach cap you only require 38% spell and block chance. I'm not a massive fan of this because 65% is still quite a bit of damage. The second keystone is Versatile Combatant. This gives us -25 to attack and spell block cap, making both 50%, and converting 1% of attack block exceeding the cap over to spell block at double the value. So being 25% overcapped on attack will give you maximum spell block. If you mix this with Gladiator's Reigning Veteran Ascendancy, you'll have 60% attack block and 50% spell block. One point of a lot of confusion for block is whether it works on projectiles. It does. Spells and attack block chance both block their corresponding projectiles at the normal rate. I think the confusion comes about because the shield modifier plus X% chance to block projectile attack damage. This makes your normal attack damage and projectile attack damage diverge from each other, but the standard attack block does still apply to projectiles. And whilst we're talking about modifiers, there are a couple of great modifiers from both the Shaper and the Conquerors that allow you to cover a percentage of your life or mana on block, as well as normal shield mods that grant flat life or mana on block. Both of these are great for survivability as we will be blocking quite a lot. These mods are great in tandem with Glancing Blows to offset some of the incoming damage. On to block masteries now, and pretty much all of them are great, though my preference goes to the plus 20% to life and mana when you block. The other 4 masteries come in 2 pairs. The first gives plus 2% increase to block cap, 1 for each flavour, and 3% to spell or attack damage per 5% chance to block the corresponding spell or attack. There are also block related masteries within the shield, dual wielding and staff masteries. The staff masteries grant increased chance to block when you stun, as well as a percentage of life or energy shield recovered when you block attack or spell damage respectively. The shield mastery has a single node for block, which is 1% increased chance to block attack damage per 5% chance to block on your shield. And last but not least, the dual wielding mastery allows you to flip your 15% attack block chance from dual wielding to spell block chance. This is especially important in this league because of the ArchNemesis mods, which introduce new spells everywhere throughout the game. Now for those of you who fear reflected damage, block can actually prevent the damage from this, but this will not trigger on block effects. That said, this is not something I'd personally rely on because reflected damage can still be extremely high and may still one-shot you for the hits you do take. So how does stun interact with block, and what is block and stun recovery? If the hit that you block would have caused you to be stunned, then you will play a block animation. You can't do anything during this animation, and so it's effectively a stun. But it has a maximum time of 350 milliseconds, so it's a lot shorter than some stuns could be. And this is where block and stun recovery comes in. This reduces the amount of time you'll spend in block animation, and therefore you're back into the action much more quickly. Note that if the attack wouldn't cause a stun, there will be no animation played anyway, and so if you're immune to stun, it's not worth getting block and stun recovery in any sort of big way. Whilst we're on the subject, it should be noted that the Soul of the Brine King Major Pantheon grants us you cannot be stunned if you've been stunned or blocked a stunning hit in the last 2 seconds. I've played a lot of block gladiators in my time, and I want to share with you my 2 favourite shields. The first is Lionized Remorse, because it gives you an insane amount of flat life and a decent amount of armour. The second, and probably my favourite shield of all time, is the Surrenderer. This gives us a load of armour, 250 life recovery on block, flat life, and a level 30 Reckoning skill, which kills most trash when we block, so we don't have to. If you found this video useful, then please tickle that like button, it'll like it a lot, and if you want to see more, consider subscribing. And with that, thank you for watching, and I'll catch you next time.